Hello, hello, hello. It's Tuesday. I am here, Melissa Mann here. This is going to be an interesting live and probably kind of a short live. My husband is still at work this evening, which means I am sole mommy here. The kids are in the basement, but there is really no guarantees that they're not going to come banging on the door. So I asked them to, play downstairs for a while, but any of you parents out there know that just because you tell your kids to do something doesn't always mean that they will do it. So we will see how this turns out. But I thought I would do my very best to still come on here and talk for at least a little bit. So what a week it has been. Oh my gosh. Lots of good, lots of ups and some downs. Some kind of crazy stuff going on in my world right now. But I wanted to let you into my world a little bit today and share a little of the things that have been going on and where I'm at with it and how that might all apply to you. So first of all, Sunday, actually back up to Friday. Yeah, this last week's been kind of crazy. My friend was in town who does video work, and we did some really cool video stuff. I'm kind of doing like a business commercially thing. So she said probably editing will be done in October. So I will absolutely have that posted on this page when that's done. So that was a long day. I'd never done something like that before. We started like 10 a.m. I think we were like working till like 8 p.m. So yeah, that's a lot. And it's interesting because I find doing this on camera is a lot easier than doing that on camera. And I'm not really sure what that's about. That there's some pressure to be perfect or to get it right, or when you're live, you're just live. And so it's kind of like, oh, if it comes out, it comes out. If it doesn't come out right, well, I can't redo it. So it's just, it's different. So that was interesting for me because I was like, I talk to a camera all the time. This will be fine. And it was not that easy. So there was that. But anyways, with her in town, I also ran her bars Wednesday, actually. So she was in town all week. Her parents live south of me, and so she was staying there. But since I ran her bars, this is kind of an interesting like side note. Like her world has like opened up and it's been really cool. She wrote me this great testimonial. I should post it on here, but just like she's been sleeping better. She just feels like a sense of space and expansiveness. And she lives in Las Vegas and she just got home. And she sent me Marco Polo today. If you guys know what that app is, where you like send videos back and forth. That like she's just like all this like jobs opened up for her and like video stuff and like just like boom, 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 boom. She's like, I don't know if it was the bars or what, but I think it was, and just like expanded her world so much. And the bars can do that for people. So like that was so cool to like see. And on that, on Sunday, I ran a bars class at my house. I posted some pictures if you guys saw it. And that was the first time I did something, a bars class at home. And it was so much fun. It was so much fun. And it was expansive. And it was like a really cool group of women. And we just had like a really fun day. And that's kind of what I want to talk about actually a little bit today. Not so much about bars, but about stepping into you and who you want to be in the world and how to choose, you. How to choose being you over what anybody else would tell you, over what society tells you, or what your family tells you, or what your friends tell you, or what anybody else tells you. And knowing what's best, that's a judgment, was right, I don't like that word either. What feels expansive, what feels fun, what feels joyful to you. And how do we choose that? And how do we get a sense of that peace and space to be us, to be who you truly be, and not at the effect of what everybody else would put on you and push on you, and all these people in our lives like to push at us. And they don't mean it harmfully. Everybody just thinks they know what's best for you. And I'm sure you can think of people in your life that know what's best for you, and they don't. They think they do, and they like to push that at you. And I bring up all of this as it relates to the bars class that I did on Sunday because I had this moment when I was running this class. I don't know if it was I was talking. I wish I could tell you what I was doing, but it wasn't about doing. It was about being. And I had this moment of energy of myself and going like, this in this moment is me being me. And like, it was so like heart chakra, like opening, like just so like, I've said expansive like 20 times. I don't know how else to explain it though. it was like I was like everything I wanted to be in that moment. I was having fun, I was laughing, I was teaching, I was expanding other people's worlds, and I was in that moment I could see the gift that I truly am, that I truly be as a being. And I was like, oh, I want to choose more of that. I want to keep choosing that. And I wanted to talk to you about that, about how to choose that, about what that space is and how you might go into your world and look at like what is the energy that you are when you are being most joyful, most fun, most you, where you don't have to fake anything, you don't have to be anything other than who you are, and you just get to do the thing that you love. And that's going to be different for absolutely everybody. For some people, it might be teaching or facilitating a class. For other people, it might be when they're with their children or when they're with their friends and they're out and they're laughing. Or maybe it's when you're at home reading your book curled up. But whatever that is, how can you feel and know in those moments that like, this is me as a being, who I am, when I'm not putting on anything for anybody else. And I'm just me. And then once you get a sense of that, how to move and expand that into your whole world so that you get a sense of that in everything that you do, and how much lighter and easier and more glorious your life can be when you do that, when you expand into that space of actually being you. Yeah, there's like some energy with that, right? And I feel that even, for you watching this now or watching this in the future. But there's something different about that energy when you step into all that you are and all that you are without everybody else's judgments, without everybody else's stuff. When you can interesting point of view all of it. And as I've talked about interesting point of view, to every thought, feeling, everything everybody's pushing at you, to just say, okay, interesting point of view. In your head. You can say it out loud if you want, see what that creates, but most of the time I would recommend say it in your head, interesting point of view. And don't allow it to stick you or to push you down. And instead you kind of just let it flow through you. And it's funny, I talk to people a lot about letting things flow through you when I talk about panic and anxiety and things like that. But you can do that with judgment too. And when you feel that judgment coming from anywhere, even within yourself, to let that flow through you and beyond you, and to not stick you, to not let that lump form in your chest or in your solar plexus, and to just allow it to continue to be expanded and to flow through you, and to see what that creates rather than letting it stick you. Does that make sense? So I know there was something I wanted to read out of this book. Now I don't remember what it was. So let me find it. I don't even think I wrote down the page. That's lovely. Oh, yes, I did. I was like, that's not going to be helpful at all. Oh, this is so relevant to that. The idea of being right. And this is something I've been struggling with today, this week, maybe external to Sunday. Sunday was such an expansive day. And the truth is I felt that go into Monday too, but a little bit today coming back and a little bit Saturday. So a little bit of information. My mom's going into surgery tomorrow, and my mom lives in Texas. And there's been a lot for me around, do I go, do I stay, do I wait, do I jump on an airplane right now, or do I wait till the surgery's over, or do I wait until she's going home from surgery where they need my help there, and high season. And where do I go? What do I do? What's the right choice? And I know I'm not alone in that idea of what's the right option? What is right for me? And now what's right for everybody else? I don't care. I'm like, but what is the right choice for me? And there is these ideas of judgment coming at me from all sorts of like family members, and when are you coming, and what are you doing, and why aren't you here now? And I'm really trying to sort of let that flow through me. Like I said, an interesting point of view, all of that, because I am trying to figure out what is the actual right choice for me. And so it's interesting because today I didn't know what I was going to talk about. I knew I wanted to talk about the PARS class and how amazing that was, of just feeling that energy of being me and like being in that. But beyond that, I was like, oh, that's not going to fill a whole Facebook Live. And so I was like, oh, what am I going to talk about? So I was looking through my Lovely Blessed Possibilities book, which I love. And I opened straight to the page on family. And I was like, well, that's interesting. I don't know if I want to like air all of that. But I kind of kept going. And within that, in that same topic, it started to talk about the idea of being right and making the right choice. And what does that create? And what is that? So let me read this to you, and then I have thoughts on it. And this is short. So, hold on. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. So this is a conversation between Gary Douglas and one of his students. And the student says, I'm becoming aware of how much I've rejected and discarded me and everything. Right? That's what I'm just talking about. And Gary says, yes, in order to be right. And the student says, and then I go to conclusion to try to be right. And Gary says, the only way that you can be right is if you're in conclusion. And the student says, it's just that simple, just choosing I'll have this. And Gary responds to him, yeah, I'll have this. I won't have that. Now you have to ask, what do I want to choose? Not, what have I chosen and how can I make what I have chosen right somehow? You just choose things. It's that simple. When you choose something, do you have to keep choosing it, or can you choose a new possibility? Where do you want to live? In possibility or in conclusion? Once you go, I am right, you are in conclusion. And no possibility that doesn't match that can ever come into your awareness. Ever. The student says, which would be all of the things I haven't been able to change. Gary says, yeah, it's all the things you haven't been able to change because somewhere you made part of it right so you wouldn't have to change. Where do you want to live? In possibility or in conclusion? And I was like, oh boy, that's what I needed to hear today. And often when things stick me and I'm thinking about things, I know it's not just me. So we're all kind of in this together, right? So I was like, yeah, there isn't necessarily a right choice here. It's just following the energy of what feels like it creates more space for me. And I still haven't figured that out. So if you're going to ask me below what I choose, I haven't chosen yet. I probably will go, but I'm not quite sure when. But there is that sense of making the right choice. And am I going to feel like that was right later? And what can I live with later? And what, I don't know. And that's okay. And I'm opening up to possibilities to see where that takes me. But I think as soon as I let go, I read this like seriously 20 minutes ago, but as soon as I let go of that needing to make the right choice, even though I don't know what I'm going to choose yet, there is something in space. There is something that doesn't make sense, but there is a sense of space. There is a sense of possibility and awareness of knowing that I will know what I need to know when I need to know it. And that's enough for right now. And I know that lately, in the last week, 2 weeks, whatever, I've been really doing this stepping into me thing and knowing that I know and encouraging and empowering other people to know that they know. And me not having to know for them or having to have all the answers. And people come to me a lot wanting the answers. What should I do? What would you do? And, these are questions that people come at me with all the time. And I used to feel this pressure to be like, well, I don't know, what would I do? What should I, well, why don't you try this? Or what about this? Or here's some advice. And I can give gobs of advice on how to clear things and how to not allow the anxiety to sit with you and things like that. But what should you do? I don't know that for you. You know that for you. And I want to empower you to know that you know what's best for you, and that whatever it is that you have the power and the ability to choose it, and that I have the power and ability and space to choose what will work best for me in that moment. And when we choose something, we just choose it, and we function in 10-second increments. So we choose it, and if that didn't work, we choose something different, and we just keep choosing. And that's how we create our lives from a space of possibility and not from a space of conclusion. So I think that's all. I think that's all I have for you guys tonight. But thank you for joining me in this, and sort of week full of all sorts of ups and downs and twists and turns, and yeah, more next Tuesday. So I will be back here at 7:15 next Tuesday, Central Standard Time. I can never get that out without stumbling over it. Something I need to work on. So anyways, I hope you all have a beautiful week, and I will talk to you all soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.